Welcome to Antopia, USA. Today we'll be taking a look at some of my personal colonies. First up, we have Myrmecocystus mendax from the 2021 season. This queen here has an awesome brood cycle, as you can see, and she has everything going for her. I actually started this colony out with 2 queens and found out that my research was incorrect when I was trying to locate the only true polygynous Myrmecocystus mendax population. They did pretty well at first, and then I tried to merge another queen in there, and they kicked the 2 of the other queens out, so they just ended up as 1 queen. But since then, this colony has really been on fire. Like I was mentioning, the brood cycle is really good, and it seems to me with honey pots, they can be slow at first, but once they get into that really good brood cycle, which is constant eggs, larvae, and pupa all going at the same time, so they're adding a few workers each day, and basically the colony will just grow at a super fast rate at that point. As you see, there's lots of repletes in this colony, and I achieve the different color repletes just by doing different hummingbird nectar. You can play around and get different colors if you want. Yeah, I'm really excited on this colony, and I'll continue to update you guys on their progress. Next up, we have Myrmecocystus mexicanus from the 2020 season. This was actually one of the first honeypot queens I ever did catch myself, and she has been through a hell of a lot. She moved here with me from California, obviously using the proper APHIS permits, and she has had some ups and downs, to say the least. There for a while, her brood cycle completely stopped after I'd moved her from some nests. They came down with a mystery ailment that was affecting the pupa. The nanitics inside, or the workers, were coming out damaged or deformed. I finally moved them into this DIY nest just to try to get the humidity just right for them, thinking that may be the cause. And since then, they have fired back. But a big drawback to these DIY nests is filming in them is obviously horrible. But as you can see, she's producing a lot of repletes again. They were down to almost 0 repletes. So this is just within the last month and a half, 2 months that they've bounced back this good. They're starting to get back on a good brood cycle. Quite a bit of eggs going at the same time, 2 different spots with larvae. But they seem to really enjoy this layered nest. I think it offers them different gradients of humidity and something they're more used to in the wild. All in all, I'm really excited to see them on the comeback, and I'll continue to update you guys on this colony as well. I'd also like to mention that I don't heat any of my colonies externally up until this point, where I have moved most of my personal colonies inside of my house, and now I am running a heat cable on them because we run the AC in here. And here we have Myrmecocystus mendax, the polygynous variant from the 2022 season. This here has to be one of my favorites from the season so far. Did a ton of research to find out where this population was, and scientists had actually genotyped all the mature colonies in the area to prove that they were polygynous. This colony here and the one I will show you after, I plan on merging them, as when they studied these queens in the lab, they were able to merge colonies 100% of the time. And here is the Myrmecocystus mendax number 2, the polygynous variant as well from the 2022 season. These are going to be second up for the merging project. As you can see, this queen and the other queen are doing real good at production. They had a very generous first generation of workers, so they're doing well. They just started another egg cycle, and they got larvae and pupa all going at the same time. So once these fire off, they should expand very quickly, same as the last colony. I'll probably try to merge these when there's around 35 to 40 workers in each, since most of the lab studies they did were around that worker count. I also have another colony I'm going to be holding back that I will try to merge at the 1 year mark and see if it continues to have success at that point. This is also a new nest from Tar Heel Ants. It's the layer, attached to a medium foraging area. Next up, we have Myrmecocystus placidops 02, the smaller variant from the 2022 season. This colony is not doing super great, but not doing super bad. As you'll notice, one of those pupa already looks like it'll probably turn out to be a replete. This colony I'm very excited about, but one small downfall is I was digging that night without a headlamp, and I don't recall exactly where I caught her, and she was the only one I got. So luckily she got to workers, and hopefully this colony flourishes. Next up, we have Fidole from the 2022 season. I actually acquired this queen on a permit, and I heard they were really hard to found, so I'm very glad she got to workers. She's got a good brood cycle going on. Small fun fact is that this is supposedly the largest Fidole species in the world. Not 100% that's confirmed, but that's what the rumor is. As you can see, the queen is huge compared to the workers. Another fun fact about these is they're one of a handful of Fidole species that are trimorphic. So they'll have regular workers, majors, and then they will have super majors. And I've heard that the super majors can be almost the size of the queen. So really excited to get the colony up to that point, and we'll just have to keep an eye on her until then. Next up, we have Myrmecocystus apiculatum from the 2022 season. This queen right here is rumored to be one of the largest ant queens in North America. I'm not 100% sure on that because Attitexana queens are huge, and I have seen them in person. Another rumor about these is that they can get from 60 to 80,000 workers in a mature colony. So excited to see them get to that point. It's a fast-growing colony. They're doing great so far. We'll just have to keep an eye on what goes on from here. If they start to escape, I might have to consider doing something else with them. Next up, we have Myrmecocystus mimicus from the 2022 season. Found all 4 of these queens in the same chamber, which is very common for mimicus. And so far, there's been no type of queen reduction, but this queen that you see here in the frame, she is often in the outworld, and the workers are dragging her back. So I'm not sure if she's going to be first to go or what the deal's going to be there. And from what I understand, mimicus is only pleo, that there's no confirmed cases of polygyny. So almost guaranteed this colony will reduce down to 1 queen, but they're going to get an amazing head start on the brood cycle before then. I'd say this colony is probably already up to about 50 workers, and they got an amazing cycle, as you can see right there in front of you. So they're going to grow real fast up to the point where they start to reduce, and then even then they will probably be able to keep that going. Next up, we have Myrmecocystus melliger from the 2022 season. This colony is off to a great start. They got quite a few workers going. Their brood cycle is not fully engaged, I'd say, at this point, because she doesn't have a ton of eggs, just the larva and the pupa. And last year I had some difficulty with this species stalling out on me, so I'm hoping to get a good colony out of them this year. Next up, we have Myrmecocystus depolis from the 2022 season. These queens are normally not pleo or poly at all, and I happened to find them this season in the same chamber, so that was kind of odd. Last year I did successfully raise a pleo colony that I forced together, and when they reduced down to 1 queen, the other queen was injured, ended up with only 5 legs. So kind of interested to see how long this lasts, but they're off to a great start with both queens cooperating. They had a generous first generation of workers, so we'll keep an eye on them and see who gets voted off the island first. Next up, we have Camponotus from the 2021 season. This colony is actually a little special to me because they come from my hometown and some of the first areas that I started collecting ants and getting into ant keeping. This colony is doing pretty well. As most Camponotus, they grow slow, but as you can see, they've already started to get minors, and so majors should be on the way very soon. We'll continue to update these guys as we move along. Next up, we have Myrmecocystus barbatus from the 2021 season. This colony is not growing as fast as some would like to see pogos grow, but I've never added heat to them, and they've always done pretty consistent. They're probably up to around 60 workers by now. Now that I have them on heat inside of the house instead of in the ant office, which is run all off of ambient temps, they should start to explode pretty quickly. Again, this is a DIY nest, horrible to film into. And it's a little bit big for them, but for pogos, they're doing a great job at keeping it clean. There's no trash inside, just food reserves. Last up, we have Myrmecocystus Navajo from the 2022 season. This colony is doing really good and off to a good start. They have a generous brood cycle going. It looks like they may have their first small replete coming soon. As this colony gets a little bigger, the updates should be a lot funner. So we'll keep an eye on that and we'll keep you guys posted. Thank you guys once again for watching this episode. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If you guys want to see more updates like this or more reviews or anything specific, go ahead and drop it in the comments. And remember, you can always reach out to us on Instagram or Facebook if you guys need any help or care tips with your colonies, or check out the website to see what we have available to sell to your state, www.anttopiausa.com. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.